This video shows the shocking moment an Air Canada regional jet collides with a fire truck on runway 4 at LaGuardia Airport in New York. It was just before midnight on Sunday, 22nd March, around 11:40 p.m. when Air Canada Flight 8646, a CRJ-900 operated by Jazz Aviation on behalf of Air Canada, had already landed and was speeding down runway 4 at approximately 130 knots. At the same time, a Port Authority fire truck was crossing that very runway to respond to a separate incident involving a United Airlines jet.
We had a situation with United Airlines aircraft that had experienced an aborted takeoff. This is the reason why the fire and rescue crew had been deployed. Of course, the Air Canada flight was arriving on runway 4 when the incident took place at the Delta intersection.
This is an image of a similar truck before the crash. The truck had been cleared to cross the runway by the air traffic controller on duty.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta.
Audio from the tower reveals the air traffic controller on duty urgently telling the driver of the truck to stop shortly after granting him permission to proceed. But it was already too late.
Frontier 4195 to stop there, please. Stop. Truck 1, stop.
Within seconds, a fatal tragedy occurred. The aircraft, still moving at high speed, slammed into the fire truck.
Sorry, Truck 1. Stop, Truck 1. Stop. Stop, Truck 1. Stop.
4195, we're staying here.
The impact was devastating, severely destroying the nose of the aircraft and killing both the captain and first officer. As you can see in the footage, the plane doesn't stop right away. Instead, its momentum carries it forward, pushing the fire truck down the runway before finally coming to a halt. On board the aircraft were 72 passengers and 4 crew members. A total of 41 passengers and crew members were taken to hospital. Most have since been released. The 2 firefighters in the truck also survived and are undergoing treatment. In one of the most remarkable survival stories, a flight attendant was found outside the aircraft, still strapped to a jump seat that had been torn from the plane during the crash and fallen to the ground through an opening created in the fuselage. Passenger Jack Cabot, one of the first to escape the jet upon crashing, captured this video showing the moment the aircraft tilted backward, suspending what's left of the front part of the fuselage in the air. This happening as a result of the increasing weight at the rear section of the aircraft as survivors used it to escape from the airplane. In this interview on CNN, he explains how they managed to escape from the aircraft.
I'd heard other people say there wasn't like an announcement, so passengers took it upon themselves to...
Yeah, I don't think there was really a chain of command. I mean, the pilots didn't make it. And so one of the passengers, I think her name was Rebecca, she was like right by the passenger aisle, and she kind of took a little initiative, and she helped get the door open, and we all kind of jumped right on out. There was a few tarmac people already out there, and we jumped on the wing and jumped down, and everyone was kind of helping each other. There's people helping with holding people's hands, there's people helping with people's luggage, and there was this kind of like really strong sense of like we're a community and we're going to get through this one together.
And you were out on the tarmac for a while.
Yeah, we were out on the tarmac for about 30-40 minutes before like any bus had came pick up. I don't think there was like a ready to go protocol really for them. They kind of just had a plane crash, and their first thought was, let's get ambulances, let's get medics, and then after that they kind of saw us and they brought some.
At the time of the collision, weather conditions included light rain, fog, and mist, factors that may have reduced visibility.
But certainly when the plane crash did occur, it was light rain, fog, and mist, winds out of the northeast at 8, and visibility down to 4 miles.
What I can share with you, of course, the weather conditions last night were moderate winds out of 050 at 7 knots. We had broken ceilings at 9,000 feet. Visibility roughly 4 miles in raining conditions, so there was mist and fog here at the LaGuardia Airport last night.
Following the crash, LaGuardia Airport was shut down with flights diverted to nearby airports. Operations later resumed, but with reduced capacity as investigations continue to examine the wreckage and debris at the scene of the accident.
As of now, LaGuardia is open. There is a reduced capacity because the aircraft and the fire truck are still in their positions from last night. So we are going to have reduced capacity for some time, but the airport is operational.
Here is a video recorded by a passenger from the airport after operations resumed. The investigation is being led by the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, with support from the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and the Transport Safety Board of Canada. The chairwoman of the NTSB shared some preliminary findings in a press conference and provided details of how they are undertaking the investigation.
We're here to investigate a collision between a Bombardier CRJ 900 with an aircraft rescue and firefighting vehicle while the aircraft was landing at LaGuardia last night around 11:37 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Talk a little bit about what we were able to do today. We did a walking inspection of the scene, and we have a site commander doing a safety walkthrough of the scene to make sure our investigators are safe while they are on scene. There is a tremendous amount of debris from taxiway Delta across runway 4 into some other areas. It's pretty expansive. There's also hazardous materials, of course, on the firefighting vehicle itself. The tail of this aircraft is on the ground, and in order to get to the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder, the Port Authority and the emergency responders cut a hole on the roof of the aircraft, dropped down, and was able to get the CVR and FDR for us, which then one of our investigators drove back to our labs in Washington, D.C. today, where they've been able to at least verify that the cockpit voice recorder was not damaged. They'll begin work on the FDR, the flight data recorder, tomorrow. My hope is that we'll have information to share on that tomorrow in a press conference.
Aviation commentator and former commercial pilot Captain Steve later pointed out that this tragedy occurred exactly 34 years after the last fatal accident at LaGuardia Airport.
The last time there was a fatality at LaGuardia was in 1992. I had just been hired as a pilot by my airline, and that was the first base that I was assigned to. I spent most of my career at LaGuardia. 3 months into getting hired at my airline, there was an accident with U.S. Air. It was the U.S. Air Flight 406. 27 people were killed. It was a Fokker F-28. It was on a takeoff roll on runway 13. It departed the runway. It went off over the embankment into Flushing Bay. It was a miracle that only 27 people were killed. I'll show you a picture here of the wreckage of that flight. The really ironic part of all this was that last night's accident was March 22nd, 2026. The last time there was a fatality at LaGuardia was March 22nd, 1992, exactly 34 years to the day.
He also commended the air traffic controller for staying calm and continuing to guide other traffic with sobriety.
Hats off to the controller who kept his wits about him. He tells Delta right behind Jazz to go around. He follows up with another go around call because they didn't get it the first time. Again, this is the sort of thing where your heart is pounding. You can hear his voice elevated as he's talking to Jazz, he's talking to the fire truck, he's talking to Delta, and he keeps his wits about him to keep managing the airport because there's other airplanes coming in while at the same time they're busy closing the airport so that they can get the other fire trucks out there to on scene and hopefully save lives.
Our condolences to the families of the 2 pilots who died in the crash. Subscribe to our channel for more updates on the crash and more aviation content. We will keep you in the know as more details come out from the investigation.